We just got some brand new information in from the National Hurricane Center. If you were with us last hour on Fox Weather Now, this said Invest 99L. Now it says 19. You might be wondering what's changed. Structurally, with this disturbance, nothing has changed. A new designation from the Hurricane Center. They do this so they can go ahead and release the whole forecast suite, and that includes the first forecast cone that we've received for now potential Tropical Cyclone 19. So let's get right to this. We're starting to see some rain pick up in Honduras as what will likely soon be Sarah moves in that direction. Wow, I say starting to see some rain pick up. That's the heaviest rain we've seen. It's this little shower that's right overhead there in Roatan. The actual system is still well back removed off to the east. Let's show you what's going on. This 4 p.m. advisory, winds at 30 miles per hour. So once it has the organization that it needs, it would still be a tropical depression with these winds. Pressure is at 1,007 millibars. That's constant. That's where it was in the last update. There's this big pocket of rotation in through here. The Hurricane Center is waiting for this to, as that starts to cache, you can see the high-resolution visible satellite. There's a lot going on here. It's a big, broad area of low pressure. It needs to consolidate, tighten up a little bit more, and at that point, it'll be designated as an actual tropical system. The reason why we're expecting it to do so is because, yes, so we know that the Western Caribbean is really warm, close to record warm. The sea surface temperatures 86, 87 degrees. But the atmosphere above the water, which typically at this point in the season is hostile to a developing tropical system, is the opposite of that. It's actually quite favorable because of the lack of wind shear and the amount of atmospheric moisture. Now, by the end of this week, there's a little trough. The intensity of that and the exact position models vary a little bit, but that would be a forcing to keep this just a touch away from the coastline of Honduras. It's going to be awfully close. High pressure nudges in from the north and west over the weekend, and that more or less locks this thing down in the Caribbean into the early part of next week. There's nowhere to go off to the north because we've talked about that. That high pressure acts like a wall. So this thing is stuck there. But when we say there, is there over land, which would cut this system, what would be Sarah at that point, off from its energy source, the warm water, or is there here out over the warm waters of the Western Caribbean, which would keep this intensification process rolling? We're only talking about the difference of 50 miles offshore, 50 miles onshore, huge difference to what this becomes long term. So we'll watch for that. A weaker scenario would be up through the spine of Central America, up across the Yucatan Peninsula. What appears to be more locked in into next week is that area of high pressure eventually slides off to the east. You got a dip in the jet stream coming, and that allows this corridor of air more or less to shoot off to the north and east for this tropical system, be it whatever it may at that point. We don't know that with certainty because of what I was just talking about. And the reason we don't know that, look at these forecast models, awfully close to the border right there, to the coastline of Honduras. And there's plus minus here. These are individual forecast model thinkings. That's that new forecast cone from the NHC, and it's a good first start. It's more or less what we would have expected. You remember that the cone is just a bunch of circles. The radius of the circle, how big the circle is a function of the average error over the past 5 years from the Hurricane Center at that particular time scale. And when you start to see the cone look more like a circle or a cone that becomes a bubble, it can be inferred, it's telling us that the storm is slowing. So if this is Thursday evening and this is Monday evening, this storm hasn't moved a whole lot. And we talked about the reason for that big blocking area of high pressure off to the north. It can't go to the north until that high pressure clears on out. And we're thinking that will happen Tuesday or Wednesday or so. So that's the reason why this cone looks kind of funky at this point, and it won't be until tomorrow, the day after, when we get this 5-day cone up into the Gulf of Mexico, that we'll start to see it have more of a shape that arcs off to the north and east.